After we remove salt, we now need to remove inorganics or non-organic compounds. So there's a reason that we first remove salt, because salt can be any atom, like a silver or sodium, magnesium, and so forth. But they're not the active ingredient. So we first remove this and then check if the molecule contains only this list of atoms. That's the first thing we're gonna do. So we're gonna find any molecule that has atoms outside of this list of atoms. So I'm gonna collect list of index, organic smallest list and inorganic smallest list. And then we run this. We read the molecule, and if the molecule is valid, valid means smallest code may contain error, and in that case, this mol from smallest method returns none. If the return value is none, this if statement is not gonna run. So we are checking if the smallest code is valid, and then we're gonna save all the atoms symbol, and then we check if this is all true. This all function checks everything is true. If everything is true, then it's gonna run the below, but if not, else part will run. So this OR function takes these. So it's checking if we have this atom symbol list, and we're taking all the atom, and if these symbols are in these organic. So we are using this list to check if atoms in the molecule have atoms within this or not. So if only one atoms are not in this list, maybe it can be silicon or something, then I'm gonna save the index of the molecule here. If everything is in the list, I'm gonna save it here. So this is the list result of the code. Okay. So looks good. And this is the list of inorganic smiles list. Okay. Organic smiles list. This one is inorganic. So you see there's a silicon, boron, something like that. So I'm not gonna use these, but I'm gonna use only molecules that doesn't have metal atoms. And now we need to create one more to see if the molecule has a carbon or not. So I'm gonna checking in this way. Actually, the structure are quite similar. So I'm gonna read the smallest code using for loop, and I'm gonna take each row and each row of smallest code. And if mol is valid molecule, I'm gonna have a atom symbol, and then if there's a carbon, I'm gonna pass. If not, I'm gonna remove it from the organic list and then add it to the inorganic list. So if I use remove method in the list, it will remove the element in the list. So currently my strategy is collecting all the index. This is gonna change a little bit of molecules to move from here to here. So after I run this, I got this result. Some molecules are gone. I don't see which is which, but if I check this inorganic list, I can see them now. and they should be added at the last part. So there are some of molecules that doesn't have carbon at all, although these oxygen and sulfur were in the list, but these are not actually organic molecule because there's no carbon. This one is the same. So that's good. So remove salt, and now we remove all the inorganics. Now we can save it. So we are having now 4,900 molecules. And actually we need to do the same for not just this LD50 data, but also for ECA list. Because we're gonna compare them. And before we run structure similarity analysis, I just want to make sure that these two list of data contains only organic molecules. And also salt should be removed. So we need to run this same code on the ECA list as well. So I'm here and I want to curate ECA as well. So you open the ECA file, and actually I'm doing the same. I just take the same function again and check if there's any molecules that have inorganic molecule. So you can just copy and paste, but here you see there are much more, well, much different molecules here, like a copper, calcium, boron, aluminum, and so forth. And now this part is also checking if the molecule has a carbon. And the code is a little bit modified in this part because this part caused error. Because there was an error that the element you want to remove is not in the list. It's because this index was already in the inorganic smells list. So I just added one if else clause to make sure that if the index was erroneously in the organic smells list, then remove it and make sure that it's in the inorganic smells list. So this is the only part that was modified from the previous code. And with this, I can see, well, so we can check here that what sort of molecules were added here, and you see there's a molecule with nitrogen alone, and nitrogen and oxygen, and so forth, oxygen, sulfur, and fluoride. So these molecules were having, this molecule have a set of atoms in the so-called organic atom list, but they are not actually organic molecule because they don't have carbon. So, and then I save it. So I'm now ready to go for structure similarity analysis.